this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. It is Saturday afternoon, March 26, 2022. I'm here to tell you about what's happening right now. This is breaking news and trending at the moment. So as we all know, our President Biden, is right now in Poland, dealing with the crisis in the Ukraine, and speaking to leadership over there and meeting with people to kind of come up with a solution with this war, right? So let me just tell you guys, I hope everybody's aware of what's happening, because we are so close to entering something so big right now that if you're not paying attention to the news like a lot of people suggesting people do, right? Even though the Bible says you gotta watch and pray, you can't be ignorant and ignore everything that's happening and don't pay attention. You don't care and whatever. I just here to let you know what's happening real quick. So President Biden was speaking in Poland, right? And at one point of his speech, he said something to the fact, he said, in referring to Putin, right, in Russia, he said, this man cannot remain in power. Okay, and when I heard those words, I was like, what? Because when you have somebody in leadership like a president, especially with everything that's going on in the Ukraine, and then you have the leader of the United States saying this man cannot remain in power, speaking about Putin, right? Like, what are you calling for right now? When you say something like that, what are you calling for, right? And immediately, he was not even done getting off the stage, and apparently, it happened so fast that the White House actually came out with a statement saying that he was not, and that's not, basically that's not what he meant to say. And I am so glad they saying that, because you have to be so careful. We know what's happening in the Ukraine. It's a very sad situation. We don't wish that on anybody. I think that what's happening in Ukraine is very inhumane. I think, you know, we have to, yes, the nations have to come together and come up with some type of plan to help the people of the Ukraine. Yes. But lately, in the last couple of days, what I've been feeling from the president of the Ukraine is he's sitting on his desk, right? I'm not saying that he's not doing anything, but he's using a lot of social media, right, to reach out to leadership of other nations. And he is basically crying out for help, at some point also demanding, he's demanding help from the Pope. He's saying that the US is not doing enough. He said that a couple times, right? And now we have our president traveling over there to Poland and saying things like this. Okay, and I feel by him saying that, and I know the White House just issued a statement right after that, it was very quick, and they issued a statement, explaining whatever, which I'm gonna read to you guys so that you guys know what I'm talking about. I feel that in the cry out for help from the Ukraine, okay, and now we have Biden over there, this is becoming, besides becoming an issue with the Ukraine, which is already happening, it's been happening for a couple of weeks now, it's now becoming a war against us. And I feel like this is the beginning of this whole thing that everybody's assuming that it might happen, okay? Because I understand the Ukraine needs help. Don't get me wrong. I understand that something needs to be done so that they can stop Russia from continuing invading the Ukraine. But the way the president of the Ukraine is just saying, you gotta help me. I'm not saying this. I'm asking. And then he comes up and says, I had a great conversation with this person, and I had a great. It's almost like he's going down the list, checking who's willing to help and who's not. That's what it feels like, but that's just my opinion, guys. I hope you guys don't get me wrong, but it just feel like this now has become something else. Okay, let me read to you guys what happened a couple minutes ago, so a couple hours ago. um, President Joe Biden said Saturday that Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power. I mean, if this is coming from Zelensky, like the president of the Ukraine, it kind of like makes sense for him to say something like that. But this fight is not with the US, but I feel like it just became a war also against the US. because this president just said that, right? And this is why it's so alarming, because the White House immediately put out a statement. And this is what they say, right? Let me continue to read to you guys this. Dramatically escalating the rhetoric against the Russian leader after his brutal invasion of Ukraine. Even as Biden words were racketed around the world, the White House attempted to clarify soon after Biden's finished speaking in Poland that he was not calling for a new government in Russia. This is alarming everywhere you look at it. When you hear, I mean, the fight is not against the U.S., but now we have a president over there because of demand of help from the Ukraine president. Our president went over there, and now look what has become, right? So the words that Biden said, this man cannot remain in power, referring to Putin, became so alarming, okay, from everywhere you put it, that even the White House immediately put out a statement, okay, because it is escalating the whole situation to a whole nother level. And I'm just here to let you guys know, in case you're not aware of what's actually happening, okay? A White House official asserted that Biden was not discussing Putin's power in Russia or regime change. The official, who was not authorized to comment by name and spoke on the condition of anonymity, I think that's how you pronounce it, excuse me, said that Biden's point was that Putin cannot be allowed to exercise power over his neighbors or the region. A couple weeks ago, I know I came here and showed you guys when Biden said, he also mentioned this, right? I just remember. He said, go get them at the end of his speech. And everybody's like, what is he talking about? Okay, this war is not really against the U.S. But it feels like I said, besides this comment that just happened, what he said also a couple weeks ago, go get them. It's like, what is going on? What are you talking about, right? And then the official, says here, who was not authorized to comment by name, spoke on the condition and said that Biden's point was that Putin cannot be allowed to exercise power of his neighbors or the region. The White House declined to comment on whether Biden's statement about Putin was part of his prepared remarks. For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power, Biden said at the very end of the speech in Poland's capital that served as the capstone on a 4-day trip to Europe. This is opening something so much bigger, guys. I think you have to be on alert, and I'm not saying to be anxious or nervous or like on fear, but I'm saying like the president of the Ukraine is calling out leaderships, and the fact that every time he meets with a leader, he has a conversation with them, and now last week he addressed the Senate of the U.S. I don't know what's going on with that. That's not sitting right. Like, it didn't sit right for me to see an outside president addressing the U.S. Congress, right? Or the Senate, I don't remember what it was, or both maybe. It didn't sit right with me. And then he's, every time he speaks with the leadership, he's like, thank you, so I had a great conversation with so-and-so, and this will happen. Now I'm calling out to the Pope to do something to help me with this fight of Russia. I don't know about that. I don't know what's happening. Look where we are right now with Biden saying things like that. So much so that immediately the White House issued a statement to clarify what he meant. Let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. Like I said, this is trending right now. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. Have a good night. God bless. For coming back to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and share this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.